Hey everybody, so for today's video I want to talk about something that I really haven't talked about before, and that's puppeteering in film. Um, it's something that was used a lot back in the day. We see it occasionally, we don't really get to see it a lot now. Um, but the reason why want to talk about in this video is because nowadays, specifically in 2013, we really are rarely ever seeing it at all. I mean, besides the new Muppet film that came out in like 2011 or 2011, I believe, um, and the new one coming out, Muppets Most Wanted, is what it's currently called. It's been changing its name a lot. Um, we really haven't got a lot of puppeteering elements in film. I know in Where the Wild Things Are a few years back, they used the same kind of costume they used for Big Bird and Sesame Street. But that really wasn't puppeteering. That was just a material that was made, a costume that was made by a company that makes puppets, the Jim Henson Creature Shop. Um, so yeah, it's kind of dying out. I think and that's really too bad because it's a very interesting thing that film was using for a very long time. In the '70s and the '80s and even in the '90s. '90s not so much, just because special effects and CGI were just starting to make their way in. A lot more filmmakers were using it by then. It seemed like, but yeah, now it's like it's gone now, and it's really too bad. Like I was saying, because it's a very unique art form. You had some very creative filmmakers and special effect people use puppeteering in film. Like Dark Crystal and like I was saying, the Muppet films. There was a ton of Muppet films back in the day, and even though they're still making them, there was this long gap of them not making them at all, and it wasn't until just recently where they started making them again. I was talking about Where the Wild Things Are earlier. Um, Even on TV, I think there was a show called Crank Yankers at one point. Um, at Sesame Street, I think it's kind of up and down. Like they make new episodes, then they stop, then they make new episodes, then they stop for a while. But yeah, like besides, really, even if you take out the Jim Henson Company specifically, it's very rarely there now. Um, Even when Star Wars started back in the day, Frank Oz, who was a part of the Muppets, did the puppeteering work for Yoda. I mean, now it's Yoda's special effects CGI character in the film, in the Star Wars films, even in the re-releases. And it's like I was saying before, it's just really too bad because I think it's a very unique way of making films. It's a neat way to get practical effects into the film rather than always relying on CGI, which a lot of filmmakers seem to do nowadays. Even the new Ninja Turtles reboot that's going to come out, I believe, next year. They're not using Jim Henson Creature Shop costumes. They're actually using like CGI effect. Um, they're CGIing the characters into the film. And they're going to have voice actors just doing the voice acting and nobody underneath. There's basically no one there. They have to work with thin air and CGI those characters in. It's just really too bad, you guys. I really think if more filmmakers incorporated puppeteering, when appropriate, because I know with today's effects, with CGI, we can make things look more realistic. But there's something about things actually being there, being practical, having that puppet actually touch someone rather than someone pretending that something's touching them or interacting with them through CGI computer effect. Um, I just would really like to see it come back because I think it's a very interesting thing that filmmakers are doing for a long time. People seem to enjoy it. It was kind of its own art form for a while. And it's still around. It's not a completely dead art form. It's not a completely dead resource for filmmaking or television show making. But I would just really like to see it come back. I would really like to see more of it. Um, just really thinking about, like back in the day, like with the original Clash of the Titans, that stop motion and all that kind of stuff. I'd like to probably see more of that also. I think we're just getting to the point now where CGI really isn't impressive anymore. I mean, you can make it look real, you can make it look good, you can make it look good in 3D. But there's something about practical, real physical things being there, specifically puppets, that I would really like to see come back more often. I think I heard somewhere that the new Evil Dead film did use some more practical effects than some other horror films that are made nowadays, but still, it's just like that's one out of. 50 films. And it's just like I would really like to see things physically being there. And when I say that, I mean puppets. I mean, costumed people. I mean, even though I know it's like, oh well, it's not as real anymore. It doesn't look as good, But I would still like to see it though. I don't want it to completely disappear. I don't want to completely see 100% CGI films all the time. I really want to see some practical things in there. So I would just really like to see it come back, you guys. What are your thoughts? Leave some comments below. I would really like to see it come back. I would really like to see more of it. I would like to see more companies outside of the Jim Henson Company be a part of it still some more. I would like to see the Jim Henson Company do some more things outside of just more Muppet films and doing more Sesame Street related stuff. Things like Where the Wild Things Are, where they actually made costumes and were used for the film and stuff. So I would like to see it come back. What are your guys' thoughts? Like I was saying before, and yeah, I would just really like to see it come back. I just really miss it, and it was just I don't know. It was just something I was thinking about recently that I really want to see come back. So let me know your thoughts down below. I'm interested in seeing what you guys think about all this.